Hi all, in this video we'll try to talk about one classical example where the need of planetary analysis based on nakshatra is very much needed. So if you consider Leo ascendant, so Leo ascendant is you can understand the Lord is of course the Sun. So for the ascendant Lord is Sun. And now for Leo ascendant, if you observe, the 10th house is Taurus. Now in the Taurus, let us say Venus is present in the horoscope. So we are trying to discuss a horoscope having Leo as the ascendant, and Venus is present in the sign of Taurus, which is nothing but the 10th house basically, right? So generally, as Venus is present in its own house Taurus, any astrologer or anybody who has some minimal knowledge of astrology can predict this particular Venus is very strong because the Venus is present in its own house, own sign basically, that is Taurus. So this Venus is very strong, and when this particular native has the Venus Mahadasha starting, he would get benefited in the area of a profession because 10th house represents profession. So automatically we understand that we generally predict that as and when the Venus Mahadasha starts, and also if the person is matured enough to start his own career, so his career is going to be very successful. We will try to predict that way. But the fundamental thing here is there are some mixed situations here. Some people having Leo ascendant Venus in the 10th house, that is Taurus, may have a very good career, and some people may not have a very good career, right? So this is where the analysis based upon the nakshatra system comes into the picture. So if a planet is in the sign of Taurus, it can be in the Kritika 234, or it can be in the nakshatra Rohini, or 1 2 3 4 padas, or it can be in the nakshatra of Mrugashira 1 2 padas, because Taurus, a sign, has these nakshatras, right? Especially these nakshatra padas, Kritika 2 3 4, Rohini 1 2 3 4, Mrugashira 1 2, right? So Venus can be, it can be situated, it can be placed anywhere in these nakshatra padas. So now the fundamental question here is, if you are analyzing this particular placement with respect to nakshatras, right? So if Venus is in Taurus, then you may ask in which nakshatra it is present. Okay, Venus is in Kritika nakshatra. So who is the lord of Kritika nakshatra? Sun is the lord of Kritika nakshatra, right? So now let us say Venus is in Kritika nakshatra, and now the Venus Mahadasha started for this particular Leo ascendant guy. Then definitely you will try to predict, okay, this person may have a very good career, but right. But the main thing here you need to understand is every planet works for its nakshatra lord. Every planet works for its nakshatra lord. That is a fundamental principle in Vedic astrology. So this particular Venus, which is placed in Kritika nakshatra, is actually working for the planet Sun, right? Because Kritika nakshatra lord is Sun. So here Sun's dignity is very much important. So what do you mean by that? Venus is working for its nakshatra lord Sun. What do you mean by that? So Venus is not independent here. Venus cannot do whatever it wants to do without the permission of its nakshatra lord. That is a fundamental thing here in the nakshatra astrology. So Venus is under compulsion. Venus is under the employment of Sun, you can say here, right? So as Venus is present in the Kritika nakshatra, so here sun's dignity is very much important. So if this particular sun, let us say, is placed in the 8th house, so what is the 8th house for Leo ascendant? So I'm not talking about the KP Cuspal chart here. I'm not bringing it, because even if it is a KP Cuspal chart, even if it is a normal chart, if the planet is present at the edge, of two signs, right? So the planetary impact can be on the two houses, right? So here the main point I want to tell you is there is no need to bring the KP Cuspal chart here at all, because if the planet is at the edge between two signs, anyways the planet is going to work for this particular, means in the KP Cuspal chart, let us say in the normal chart, if this particular planet Venus is in the 9th house, and suddenly if you do that KP Cuspal chart, right, this particular planet may be in the 10th house, right? So but it happens only when it is at the edge. But if it is in the middle, then anyways the planet is going to be situated in the same house, even the KP Cuspal chart or even in the normal chart, right? So most of the times it happens. So I'm not bringing any KP Cuspal chart thing here, but you can analyze it. You can analyze the same thing with KP Cuspal chart also, right? That is one thing I want to mention. And or you can directly take the KP Cuspal chart, right? If you want, you just go to Google Play Store and download the KP Stellar software, and there you can observe the KP Cuspal chart, right? That is the most accurate chart, you can say, right? If you want the house based analysis, the exact houses, because say in ancient India, after Surya Siddhanta by Aryabhatta, all the nakshatras were normalized to 13.20 degrees. So you may bring the argument like every nakshatra cannot be of 13.20 degrees, right? Some nakshatra can be lesser than 13.20, some nakshatra can be more than 13.20, but somehow with the normalization, after Surya Siddhanta, they came up with one logic that they fixed the area of each nakshatra in the sky 13.20 degrees, right? So after all, these are all the predictions, but of course Surya Siddhanta is not a simple thing, right? So this normalization process of taking every nakshatra into 13.20 degrees is really it's an excellent concept, and it is working. It is working in so many horoscopes, and it is working not in so many horoscopes, in almost all the horoscopes it is working very good, right? So every nakshatra is 13.20 degrees. So no need to bring the KP Cuspal chart at all here. No need to bring. With the normal basic Rashi chart itself, you can apply the same analysis of nakshatra astrology. That is the fundamental principle here. Is every planet works for its nakshatra lord. Now let's come to our point. Leo ascendant, Venus is in the Taurus, that is in the 10th house. Now Venus is in Kritika nakshatra and the Taurus also, that can be 2, 3, 4 padas. Now the important thing is Venus is in Kritika. Now every planet works for its nakshatra lord. Here Kritika nakshatra lord is Sun, and Venus is in Kritika, so Venus has to work for Sun, right? And now you need to check the dignity of Sun. Where is Sun actually? Let us say Sun is present in the 8th house. So as Sun is in the 8th house, now you need to check the dignity of Sun here. So what is Sun here? Of course, Sun is connected to the 8th house, and where this Sun is present. So for Leo ascendant, the 7th house is Aquarius, and automatically the 8th house is Pisces. Let us say this particular Sun is in Revati Nakshatra. You know, Revati Nakshatra Lord is Mercury. So here Sun and Mercury, Sun is connected to Mercury. Let us say Mercury is present in the 9th house. Let us say Mercury is present in the 9th house and Sun is present in the 8th house. Now what houses Sun is connected to here? Sun is basically connected to the 8th house and also the 9th house. Sun is basically connected to the 8th house and also the 9th house, because Sun is placed in the 8th house, so it has to work for 8th house, and Sun is also connected to the 9th house because Sun has to work for its nakshatra lord. Sun has to work for its nakshatra lord. So as nakshatra lord is Mercury, so Mercury is sitting in the 9th house, so Sun has to work for the 8th house and also the 9th house. So 8, 9 is coming into the picture here. So Sun is basically connected to 8, 9. Now what about this particular Venus placed in the Kritika Nakshatra? So Venus has to work for Sun. So Sun has to work for, let us say, 8, 9. Then what happens? So Sun is basically connected to the 8th house, which is actually a malefic house, which is actually a house that is giving pressure, that is giving troubles, right? So 8th house is house of troubles, house of research, house of hidden energies, house of research and all the stuff, right? So even if you want to connect Sun to so many things, so Sun you can connect to first house also, because Sun is the lord of the first house. So Sun is basically connected to the first house. Sun is present in the 8th house, so Sun is connected to 8th house, right? Sun is connected to 8th house, and Sun is also working for its nakshatra lord, as Sun is present in the Revati Nakshatra, which is the nakshatra of Mercury. So Sun is going to work for Mercury, and Mercury is sitting in the 9th house. So Sun primarily it has to work for the 9th house also. So here 9, 8, 1, these three things are coming into the picture. You can connect this particular Sun to some other signs also, even because Sun has to work for its nakshatra lord. So who is the nakshatra lord for Sun here? Sun is sitting in the Revati. So Revati's nakshatra lord is Mercury. Mercury is sitting in the 9th house. And also if you observe, Mercury is the lord of the 11th house Gemini, and the second house Virgo, right? So Mercury is also connected to this particular 11th house and 2nd house. So Mercury has to work for the 9th house, the 11th house and the 2nd house, right? So here I'm trying to take the direct impact houses, or you can say the most primary houses, right? So what are the most primary houses for Sun? Sun has to work for the 8th house because it is sitting in the 8th house. Sun has to work for the first house because it is the lord of the first house, right? And Sun has to work for its nakshatra lord. So what is the nakshatra lord for Sun? Revati's lord is Mercury. So Sun has to work for Mercury. So Mercury is sitting in the 9th house. So Sun is primarily, so you can make multiple connections. Even if someone is seeing Sun, Sun is watching, as Sun is sitting in the 8th house, it is of course automatically watches the 2nd house, right? Automatically watches the 2nd house. So as Sun is watching the 2nd house, you may consider the 2nd house this way also. But I'm very much interested in the primary houses, the most primary houses, because I want to be more accurate. So you can try to take any number of connections with any number of theories, but here I want to be very accurate by taking only the primary houses here, right? So Sun has to work for the house that it is placed, because it is the occupant of the 8th house. Sun has to work for its nakshatra lord. So if you want to give preference for nakshatra lord first, then automatically Mercury's importance comes into the picture. So Mercury is sitting in the 9th house. So Sun is going to work primarily for 9th house, and also second preference is given to the 8th house because Sun is sitting in the 8th house, and the third preference is given to its as a sign lord. It has to work for the 1st house also. So 3 houses. So 9, 1, 8. So just imagine 9, 1, 8. So if I apply a principle that 12th to any house is negation to that house, right? So Sun is the lord of the 1st house here. Sun is working for the 9th house. Sun is sitting in the 8th house, right? Now the 9, 8 and 1 connection here, if I consider these 3 primarily, those are all negation. They are all not working for this 10th house energy at all, because what is 9th house? 9th house is negation to 10th, because 9th is 12th from 10th. That's one thing. And also if I apply another principle, that is Sun is the lord of the 1st house. So 1 is actually 12th to the 2nd. Second is actually the finance. Second is the bank balance and money, right? The money resources you have. So as 1 is negation of 2, so that is one thing here. And what about 8? 8 is always hurdles. 8 is stress. 8 is pressure. Of course 8 is transformation, because after troubles and pressures and stress, everything, what happens to a person? He is automatically going to be transformed, right? So now based on that, this 9-1-8 connection is not at all good for this particular Venus, because Venus is under compulsion here. The Leo ascendant, Venus is in Taurus, especially in Taurus, it is in Kritika nakshatra. So it has to work for the Sun, and here Sun is actually primarily connected to the houses which are not at all good for the profession. So this particular Venus, which is under the compulsion of, or which is acting as a primary worker for Sun, is not going to give much fruitful results in its Mahadasha, right? So this Venus is not a good Venus, right? Primarily it is not a good Venus here. But let me try. This Venus is sitting in the Kritika nakshatra, has to work for Sun. Now let me place this Sun in the 2nd house, that is in Virgo, and Sun is sitting in the Hasta nakshatra in the Virgo, and the Moon here, Moon is actually let us say Moon is sitting in the 4th house. Now what happened to this particular Sun here? So this particular Sun, which is sitting in the Hasta nakshatra, that is in the sign of Virgo, and its nakshatra lord, which is Hasta nakshatra lord, Moon, is sitting in the 4th house, right? Now this Venus sitting in the Kritika has to work for Sun here, and Sun is sitting in the 2nd house, working for the Moon, which is the 4th house, right? So what does it mean here? Now this particular Sun has to work for its nakshatra lord, which is sitting in the 4th house. So 4 is coming into the picture here, and this particular Sun, which is sitting in the sign of Virgo, that is the 2nd house, has to work for the 2nd house. So 2 is coming into the picture here, 4, 2, and Sun is the lord of the ascendant, that is the 1st house. So 1 is coming into the picture here. So 4, 2, 1 coming into the picture. So 4 is what? 4 is the real estate. 4 is actually the vehicles. 4 is the bandhusthana, it's the house of relatives. 4 is related to mother, right? 4 is related to your mind. 4 is your 11th standard and the 12th standard education. 4 is the kind of happiness that you get from your mother or from the relatives also, right? This is 4. 4 is real estate, basically. 4 is your property, right? 4 is vehicles, so that is 4. 4 is your emotional happiness. Now this particular Venus, which is under the compulsion of Sun, because Venus is sitting in the Kritika, which is the Lord, which is Kritika, whose Lord is actually Sun, and Sun's dignity is very good here, because Sun is actually working for 1 to 4. Even the 1, which is a negation of 2, is coming into the picture, but still 2, 4 are more prominent here, right? Because a Sun which is sitting in the Hasta Nakshatra, primarily working for Moon, and secondarily it is working for the house in which it is present, that is the second house, and third it is working for its sign, which is the sign lord, which is the first house. So 1 is coming to the picture. So 4 to 1 is the concept here. The prime priority is 4 to 1 for Sun. So if Venus, so this particular Venus, which is sitting in the 10th house, primarily has to work for its nakshatra lord. So this nakshatra lord is very good here. The Sun's dignity is very good. It is promoting the second is nothing but the finance, the money, right? So through profession, this person is going to earn more during Venus Mahadasha. Even more, he is also going to earn some property. He is also going to earn some vehicles. And this, because of this profession, he may have he may make his mother also very comfortable, right? He may also get some emotional happiness during Venus Mahadasha. But of course, there is some kind of 1 is coming into the picture, because Sun is connected to 1 also, which is negation of 2. So you can expect some kind of money resources going down. Maybe he is going to you can say he may not have much bank balance. Maybe he is trying to put that in the vehicles or in the property, whatever, right? His money resources would be going down, but still 2, 4, but again money will come. His profession is going to be successful all over. This is the kind of analysis, based on the nakshatra. So every planet works for its nakshatra lord. So if your Ketu is present in the 10th house, let us say in the Hasta Nakshatra, so as Ketu is mastery, so Hasta Nakshatra energy is related to hands, so the person is very good with his hands, you can clearly say that. And even more, it is in the 10th house. Yeah, so Ketu sitting in the 10th house is in the Hasta Nakshatra, let us say, so he has to work for Moon more. So here Moon's position is very much important. If Moon is sitting in a very good house, which is promoting, let us say Moon is sitting in the 2nd house, that's it. In the Ketu Mahadasha, the person is going to earn more and more and more, right? That's it. So nakshatra, in nakshatra astrology, nakshatra is given more preference. Who is the nakshatra lord and where he is present, what he is, so what he is trying to do, what's the nakshatra lord is trying to do. It's very simpler that, see, if you have some work, if you have some work to do in your house, you may want to clean your utensils, you may want to clean your house or broom your house and then clean your house, you may want to clean the washrooms, or you may want to something like prepare some food in your house. So this is the work assigned to you. And now let us say you have some workers to do. You have a worker to clean utensils, you have a worker to broom your whole house, you have a worker to cook food, and you have another worker to cook, to clean your washrooms. Then automatically you assign all your work to them. In the nakshatra astrology also the same thing happens. Every planet checks what work it has and it is going to assign its work to, its workers. So here Venus is a worker of Sun because Venus is sitting in the Kritika nakshatra. So when its turn comes, when Venus turn comes, just like if the worker who is doing cleaning your utensils, if her work comes into the picture, means her dasha comes into the picture, she is going to clean the utensils. The same way, if Venus Mahadasha is coming into the picture, then Venus is going to do primarily its nakshatra lord work, right? So Sun is having some work here. Sun is sitting in the, let us say, second house. So what is the Sun's work here? Sun is sitting in the Hasta nakshatra, that's Moon's nakshatra. Where Moon is present? Moon is present in the fourth house, and Sun is the lord of the first house. So Sun has to do the things related to 1, 2, 4 because Sun is sitting in the second house. Sun is Sun's nakshatra lord, who is Moon here, sitting in the fourth house. Sun is the sign lord of the first house, that is 1. The Sun is clearly connected to fourth house first because fourth is where the nakshatra lord is present. Here preference is always going to the nakshatra lord. So Sun has to work for 4 and Sun has to work for the 2 because second house, because Sun is sitting in the second house. So its secondary preference is 2 and its third preference is 1, which is Sun is the sign lord here. So 4 to 1 is the concept. So 4 to 1 it has to work. Now what happens when it is going to perform its work? So it will check under its nakshatras who are present. So what are the Sun's nakshatras? Kritika is one nakshatra, and what is the other Sun nakshatra? Sun is Uttara Falguni, and another Sun's nakshatra is Uttarashadha. So it checks if there are any planets under these 3 nakshatras. So here Venus is present in Kritika, and let us say no other planets are present in Uttara Falguni or Uttarashadha. So when a Sun's things have to be fructified, means when Sun has to do the work of 1 to 4, it will wait for Venus Mahadasha because Venus is the person who is going to work for Sun. So Venus is coming into the picture. What is the Venus duty? Venus is sitting in the 10th house. So, and the first preference goes to nakshatra lord. So nakshatra lord is Sun. Sun is sitting in the 2. So Venus has to work for 2. Venus has to work for 10 because it's sitting in the 10, and Venus has to work for the sign lordship also, but that is the 10th one and also the 3rd one. So here 3 is also coming into the picture additionally. Of course 10 is already added because Venus is placed there. So Venus has to work for 2 and then 10 and then 3. 2, 10, 3. So here 2, 10, 3 are the works that Venus has to do, and Venus is, of course, here 2 is coming into the picture. So automatically it's very good for Venus. That Venus is very good here because its nakshatra lord is in the second house, right? So that is how the dignity of nakshatra lord is very much important, right? So thanks for watching the video.